Hi, Bluejays. Welcome back to the Library Corner with Mrs. Harris. This week, we're going to read a story called Froggy Goes to Camp. And while we're reading this story, I want you to pay close attention to the characters in this story, because we're going to talk about characters. And you know, characters are the people or animals or things that are in the story, that the story is about. And the story that we're going to read today is called Froggy Goes to Camp. Now, I can relate to this one and I can make a connection to this story because when my children were little, they went to a summer camp. So as I'm reading this story, I'm going to be thinking about their experience when they went to summer camp. Maybe you have an example that you can compare to. Froggy Goes to Camp is written by Jonathan London, and the illustrator was Frank Remkiewicz. It was summer. Froggy woke up and jumped right on his bed. Boing, boing. He was so excited he bumped his head on the ceiling. Bonk. And he fell down. Froggy, called his father. What? Up and at 'em. Today's the day you go to Camp Run Amok. Froggy hopped out of bed, got dressed, zip, zip, zoop, zup, zut, 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 and flopped into the kitchen, flop, flop, flop. Look at all those characters. Looks like Mom, Dad, Froggy, and maybe his baby sister. Have you got everything? Asked his mother. Of course, said Froggy. Let's go, said Dad. And off they went. There's their house in the side of that hill. And there they go. Oh no, cried Froggy an hour later. I forgot my sleeping bag. Oh, Froggy, groaned Dad. And he turned the car around. 2 hours later. Oh no, cried Froggy. I forgot my bathing suit. Oh, Froggy, groaned Dad. And he turned the car around. By the time they got to Camp Run Amok, it was sunset. I don't know anybody here, cried Froggy. I want to go home. Come meet your bunkmates, dear, said Mother. Welcome to Camp Run Amok, said Jordan, his counselor, and he led them to Froggy's cabin. It was named Wildcats, but his bunkmates were the 2 toad twins and an otter named Yasha. Yasha was nice. He let Froggy have the top bunk. Look, said Mom, there's your principal, Mr. Mugwort. He's the camp director. Great, said Froggy. Not. By the time his parents waved goodbye, the moon was rising over Lake Winnemucca. At sunrise, a bugle blasted. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da! Last one up, said Yasha, gets tickled with a feather duster. Froggy was the last one up. Ha ha ha, ho ho, hee hee hee. Welcome, campers, announced Mr. Mugwort. Now listen up. Today's your swim test. Tomorrow, Swimmers will race to the raft on the lake at the crack of dawn. By now, it was time for breakfast. Froggy had KP duty, kitchen patrol, washing dishes, preparing veggies and flies, and serving. When he served Mr. Mugwort, 2 fried eggs slid off right onto Mr. Mugwort's head. Splat! Oops, said Froggy. Froggy passed the swim test, and of course later he had archery. He pulled the bow, aimed, let go, thwang, and he hit Mr. Mugwort's bottom. Thwap. Oops, said Froggy. Poor Mr. Mugwort. On Tuesday, the bugle blasted. Da-da, ta-da, ta-da, and Froggy flopped down to the lake. Flop, 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 ready to race. Froggy, called Mr. Mugwort. What? You forgot your bathing suit. Froggy looked down. Oops, he was wearing his boxers. Everyone laughed, even Mr. Mugwort. On Wednesday, they went on a big hike around Lake Winnemucca. It got so hot that Froggy said, "Let's jump in the lake with all of our clothes on." Jordan, the counselor, did a swan dive. Yasha did a jackknife. And Froggy did a cannonball. Splash! And he got Mr. Mugwort all wet. On Thursday in the dining hall, the Toad twins yelled, food fight, and everybody joined in. Froggy threw a banana, but Yasha ducked, and it smeared across Mr. Mugwort's shirt. Smoosh! Mr. Mugwort was not a happy camper. On Friday, Mr. Mugwort asked, "Who knows how to paddle a kayak?" He was also the kayak instructor. I do, cried Froggy. "Are you sure?" "Yep." Froggy put on a life jacket and sat in the front of Mr. Mugwort's canoe, and Mr. Mugwort pushed off and climbed in. Do you think that Froggy really knows how to paddle that canoe? Let's see. Uh-oh. Froggy held the kayak paddle just like a canoe paddle and dug in. Yikes! And over they went. Splash. Oops, sputtered Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. Look at Mr. Mugwort. Mr. Mugwort glared at him, and then he laughed and hollered, "Water fight! Water fight!" He handed out squirt guns, and they had the wildest water fight in Camp Run-Amok history. Splish, splosh, sploosh. That looks like a lot of fun. And the last night they stargazed, told scary stories around the bonfire, and sang camp songs like Dear Mama Duck, Dear Papa Duck, it's fun here at Camp Run-Amok. When Froggy's family came in the morning, Mama said, "How was camp, Froggy?" "Great! I hit Mr. Mugwort with an arrow, smooshed him with a banana, and capsized our kayak." That's nice, dear. And Froggy sang, Dear Mama Duck, Dear Papa Duck, it's fun here at Camp Run-Amok all the way home. The end. Now, there were several characters in this story, and I'm going to share which one I think was my favorite. And then I want you to think about which one was your favorite. And then we're going to write about it and draw a picture, just like you do in school. Now, my favorite character is Mr. Mugwort. He was kind, and he didn't get mad at Froggy. So I drew a little picture of him, and I wrote a sentence about who my favorite character was. I would love for you guys at home to do that, and then take a picture of it and post it on our Class Dojo, and you can tag me, or you can send it to me on our Class Dojo. You guys have a great week, and I will hope that I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.